is Andy Montavon, and today we'll be talking about how the cruise ships affect the coral reefs in the Caribbean. So, cruise ships negatively affect the coral reefs in the Caribbean, and if we look at the first way to do it, it's by pollution. And cruise ships make up 1% of the ocean vessels, yet they produce 25% of the waste. And a single cruise ship passenger would produce about 3.5 kilograms of waste per day. Now they dump massive amounts of liquid waste such as gray water, black water, and other hazardous waste, and solid waste such as plastic. If we take a look at this graph, we can see that most of these cruise lines either received a D or an F, with a few exceptions. And one of the main ones are Carnival Cruise Lines, and they are in the Caribbean. And you can see they contain criminal violations as well, so for illegally dumping these types of waste into the ocean. Other cruise lines that we can take a look at are Costa Cruises, Crystal Cruises. They've also received an F in the sewage treatment. Now, if we take a look at a cruise ship that contains 3,000 passengers, would approximately dump 50 tons of solid waste per week. And even if cruise ships would stop dumping the waste today, there'd still be a drastic effect, as things such as plastic bottles remain in the ocean for 450 years. Now, more specific types of liquid waste, so as I said earlier, gray water, which is waste from baths, bathroom sinks, and washing machines. Another one would be black water, which are from toilets, dishwashers, and kitchen drains. And there's also oily water that is dumped, and hazardous waste. The regulations against pollution are very weak for the cruise ships, so massive amounts are being dumped as well. And some of it's not even illegal. Now, as we can see here, this is a coral reef in the Cayman Islands, and this was recorded December 8, 2015. And we can actually see that it's still moving in the coral reef, so it's still further being damaged. Now, if we look at this coral reef a little bit closer, it looks to seem already a bit damaged, and this is because there have been incidents in the past where this specific coral reef has already gone through some trouble. Now, back to the Cayman Islands. There's 15 acres of coral reef that have a very high chance of being removed for two new cruise ship docks. As you can see right here, these are the areas that potentially might be removed. There's also been controversy against this, and people have tried to relocate these corals, but that still won't be enough to save that up. And with the addition of these two new ports, there will also be more pollution as there will be more ships around that area, causing even more damage to other coral reefs. On the other hand, cruise lines have stated that they are attempting to become more environmental friendly. And examples of this would be attempting to cap their speed so they produce less greenhouse emissions. They also said they'd get rid of single-use plastics, and they'd introduce a new fuel source, liquid natural gas, which is also fossil fuel, but it burns cleaner than diesel. However, they have a history of lying about improving, and the biggest cruise line would be Carnival, as, for example, in 2002 they falsified records to cover 6 ships polluting and have been fined. And as I mentioned earlier, they've also been fined in 2019, as that graph was showing you, about more pollution. Norwegian cruise lines have also been caught falsifying Coast Guard records to cover up pollutions their ships have dumped. The technology is there to fix these cruise ships and make them way more healthier than they are. But these cruise lines decide to just use more toxic and harming ways, as it is more cost effective for them. All in all, if these cruise ships continue to grow, these coral reefs will soon vanish, and there are a bunch of ecosystems are in them, and then soon enough, all those animals living in those ecosystems will have no home as they be gone. What are your questions?
Back up a step, if you would, for me. All right, thank you. I have two questions for you, Andy. Sorry, I'm putting down your time. Again, first question, what evidence did you gather that you didn't use, and then why did you not use it?
Well, there was an article published by William H. Allen talking about anchoring, and I didn't use it as it was used. It was published back in like the 90s, talking about stuff in like the 70s and 80s, and I felt like I didn't have enough words to include that in, and there's more important resources or sources that I could have used.
All right, and if you had more time, what additional research would you do?
I put more research into the counterclaim, looking at even more ways they're attempting to fix their ways, and also more research into the anchoring, see more examples around the Caribbean besides the Cayman.
You're done.